Hey guys, Diane and I have Esther here, our special famous Esther, known as Mommy RN.
Thank you, ladies.
I know you for quite some time, but there's so much that I don't know and so much that I want to know. No matter how much we speak, there's certain things that we haven't spoken about. So you became a sensation and truly a voice, not for our community and for the Jewish world. And I don't think that there's a lot of people that can do it on the scale that you're doing and really resonate with people's minds. So, I know you're a nurse. So, how did you transition? Or I know you're still working as a nurse, right? But how did all of this come about? How did this light ignite? Where did it start from?
The comedy aspect, I think, just started. I think it was just my own personality. I've always kind of had this personality. I like to bring people together with laughter.
You got me through COVID.
Yeah, listen, I mean,
Did you watch
that was
it?
really where it started. Yeah, that was where it started. I actually had no social media during COVID, and I downloaded it out of sheer boredom. My husband was home. This was the first time we actually had to spend a lot of time together. I think a
Yeah.
lot of couples had this problem.
It's like make it or break it situation.
It was a straight make it or break it situation, and I remember him like not knowing what to do with himself because I was, at the end of the day, we're women. We know what it is to take off from work. You have to be home. We would go stir crazy with the babies. I had two babies back to back, so I was like, listen, I've been already kind of home for a little while, even though I'm working. It's not the same. For him, he's like, I've never done this. I've never sat home 2 days, 3 days in a row, a week in a row. So, we started butting heads a little bit, but like not, like not we're about to kill each other. It's just, it was more of like we started finding out so many things about each
Right.
other's personality. And COVID was a very, very interesting unraveling of the social media world and the world changing altogether. I think that there are so many moments in history that things change. So September 11th is one of the biggest ones. I feel like that is where we lost our innocence as New Yorkers and Americans, where we felt that we are not like invincible. Things can absolutely happen. And when that did happen, if you remember, it was such a traumatizing event. Everybody changed. Everything changed after that, whether it's politically, whether it was for the Jewish world. And the reason I bring up September 11th and how things changed and how everything comes back full circle now. And during September 11th, the Jewish nation did not feel alone. After September 11th, on September 12th, we felt more seen, I think, even than anybody else, because for the first time, the American world, the Western world, saw how absolutely vicious the enemy on the other side is. This is the enemy that for millennia have been trying to get rid of Jews. So September 11th happened. I'm going to set that topic aside for a second because we're going to come back to that. But COVID was the same thing. Very big change, very, very big world stage change.
Yeah.
At that time, I remember I was just simply working, not even on social media. I took away all social media because I got into this like doom scrolling habit where I would just sit there and scroll and scroll.
You become possessed.
There was like a couple of times where I heard the lock in the door, and it was like a Freddy Krueger moment where I'm like, oh my god, my husband is home and nothing is done. And the way I got up and like the couch cushion. I'm sure every woman I know had that.
Yeah.
I ran into the bathroom, I took out the wet wipes. I did the emergency cleaning. You know what I mean? The emergency cleaning. I started wiping with wipes. I'm like, yes, policja drajela. Thank you very much. So you didn't see what I went through? So, doom scrolling is a problem for a lot of ladies, for a lot of people. Forget ladies, our kids are like zombies with this. So I had to take social media off for a couple of years. I literally deactivated Facebook, deactivated everything, and kind of went into my thing. To make a very, very long process shorter, during COVID, we were all bored to not fight with the spouse, to not get the kids under your skin. I downloaded TikTok, and really it's like, I really want to reiterate that it was really a confidence thing. I don't feel that I'm an arrogant person, but I'm very confident in some of the things that I know. If I know this topic very well, I'm confident enough to speak on it. As long as I have the research, as long as I have the mind. But I don't have this mindset where like, what if that person thinks I'm stupid? I'm gonna ask questions. I'm that girl in shul, like, excuse me, Rabbi, right here, I have a question. Why? We're supposed to ask questions.
That's the only way to grow.
And that's the way I've always been, whether it's school, how are you gonna learn if
Yeah.
you're afraid to speak? And even if somebody does look at you in some way, honestly, I feel bad for that person. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you have a problem. You're not learning anything in that room. I'd rather be the dumbest person in the room. Because all the things that those people, that their knowledge is vast, I will finally learn. I have that mindset with everything. And when it came to TikTok, when it came to these videos, at first I downloaded it for pure entertainment. I was scrolling, I started seeing people doing the lip syncing, and I see these numbers, like millions of views. I see some people were even getting paid for it. They started creating like these big pages. They started selling things, whatever it was. And I literally looked over to my husband and I said, I am not worse than any of these bitches. I don't know. There's no other way to say it except to say it the way it is. I'm not я не хуже никого in this. So I started playing around with it. And at first, in the beginning, listen, I got a lot of backlash. I got people like, you're a grown woman.
Really?
What are you doing? Of course.
You're such a natural.
Before the success, you're going to have a lot of people that are pissed off that you're trying to do something that they always secretly wanted to do. You know how many people that were telling me, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now I see that they started full-blown podcasts. Or now I see that they're having, they're psychiatrists or dental hygienists. They're putting themselves now on social media because that is the direction that our world is going.
Right.
So the judgmental eye, that exists with everything. I'm not even upset at those people. I personally think that when you break out a boundary like that in a community like ours, you just inspired a bunch of people to actually go and start doing and saying rather than being afraid that you're going to get judged. So that's how it started. The success came. There were some ups, some downs. The political stuff came. You guys know the Kamala Harris thing is what I'm known for, like worldwide, on a worldwide level. But really, I started using comedy to kind of try to bring my message out to the people. So first it was just pure entertainment. Let me do this. Do you guys remember? I was very random in the beginning. I just did whatever I thought was funny that day, whether it was like an impersonation of a Spanish dad, these like moms, whatever we all grew up watching. It was just sole entertainment. But then I said, this is a really powerful way to talk to people because people are watching, people are following, people are sharing. And I don't know if it's Hashem's will, how this all happened, how I got into telling people to please go out, vote Mamdani out of the primary, or arguing right now with like the entire right side of all the people that helped me, all the people that were supporting me, to get Trump into office. Those same people have a very big problem with the war. So why do I even bring that up is because you asked me, we talked about September 11th. How different was the world on September 12th? And how different are the Jews feeling on October 8th? Yeah. We do not have that support.
No, I grew up my whole life in New York. And I honestly did feel invincible. Life was great. We had a childhood. We were liberal in our own way.
Yeah, I think
I'm not a liberal, but liberal.
We were definitely assimilated, and we had no problem making friends. Yeah. I don't think we had a racist vision in our eyes. I had all my entire elementary school, junior high school experience was public school.
Yeah, me too.
All my friends, I had so many different cliques. I had the Asian clique. I had the Muslim friends. Whatever it was, people would be surprised to find, but we had friends of all different.
I look at my kids now, and I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
Because I know what it was and what it is to grow up here, and you would think that over the course of years it should only progress and become better. But for the turn that it's taken, it's very scary and it's very sad.
I used to think my dad, may he rest in peace, it's going to be 10 years this month. I used to think my dad was a little too archaic on this topic. When he would see me friends with different cultures and this and that, he never minded. He would say, I'd rather you bring them to the house. I want to see them here. And when I was younger, he would try to, very slowly, kind of very cautiously talk to us about this topic. And he would say, but it's great that you're friends with all these people, but like be a little careful. At the end of the day, deep down, there is something that they all have, possibly against the Jewish people. I don't want to put like this negative thing in your head, but you should really be careful. And I was very vocal from childhood age. I was like, Pop, stop. Sit down. You don't know what you're talking about. This isn't Russia. Things are changed. We're in America now. We're Americans. Like I was very we were very assimilated, especially for public school. So sad that I can't, tell him
I never felt
not only were you right. Oh my God, this is the same thing now I'm telling my kids. And I'm not telling them this to scare them or to create division. Not at all. Not at all. I'm telling them simply, try to be close with your own. At the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but as long as we're here, it doesn't look like we are really home. Because if you feel scared to go out on the street, or if you feel scared to send your child to school, even to yeshiva, or if you need to get yourself in a group like Neighborhood Watch Patrol.
100%.
Spend money
Yeah.
to have Shmira protect us in addition to the NYPD where we are already paying taxes. I'm sorry, this is just nonsense at this point. We are being hunted, and I don't think that people understand how serious this is.
I'll tell you, I don't even blame them. Maybe now I'm a little bit more shocked.
Well, the propaganda is out of control. Of course, they're gonna all
when
jump
COVID
on this.
started, my grandfather, I'll never forget, told me, he said, I smell what's coming over here. And I looked at him, he went through the Second World War. And it was COVID. Like, nobody's talking about a war. The Jews were not a target at that point, literally 5 years ago. And I told him, why are you saying this? You know, and he tells me, "Я уже нюхаю, что будет. I smell what's coming." He's like, "Вы отсюда все будете убегать."
Yeah.
And you're all gonna run from here. And I didn't understand I thought he was losing his mind. Why? We're in America. We're in New York, especially, you know, the capital of the world. How bad can it get? And now every day, more and more, his words are so profound in my
100%.
mind.
Yeah.
And he told me this is how wars begin. That was 5 years ago. So the fact that, yeah, I was sleeping then too, as far as really not believing that anything can happen here. To me, this was like the most innocent and honest country that there is on the entire globe.
Not only that, we've assimilated with each other. There's all kinds of people here, and somehow the whole rhetoric changed to Jewish, bad, the Jews, Zionists. It became like a very, very nasty culture
And
around
people
Jewish
are taking a lot of this out of context. Like what I'm saying now people might say like, oh, what, now America's bad? Or
No,
now all of a sudden.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all, but we are losing the propaganda war.
Yeah, and
this
it
is propaganda.
just hurts.
Yeah,
It's
very
more
hurtful.
from pain and like why? Because the Jewish people have done so much.
We've contributed a lot to the world, yeah.
And this is where my pain comes from. Not that I think that there's something wrong with the country. I think that it's the politicians that are governing our lives is the problem.
It's what's being fed to the
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah.
The youth are even denying 9/11.
Yeah, they're denying the
I
Holocaust.
was in 8th grade. I remember exactly how my mom took me out of that class and what she felt.
They're not denying it. They're saying that Jews are the ones that did it.
Yeah.
We're
Now.
behind it. We're the masterminds of
When
everything that
COVID
we lied to George Bush. What's funny is, it's like this is all prophesized, right? And I know you
Yeah.
guys were more in that world than I am, but I have been, I've also inched because of all of this. I've inched more into that spiritual realm simply because I feel it. Something is coming. My intuition has always been very powerful, and you ladies know there's nothing like a woman's intuition.
Yeah.
When Harris called for her nomination, there was nobody happier than me. Because there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, no. But financially, I was like, oh my God, Mom, like this is the woman I've been waiting for. The phone didn't stop ringing. And I remember this sobering moment where I was talking to my mom about it. She's like, but I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. She let me bask in my excitement. It was wild.
Hold
It was
on,
mad.
let's
It was
pause.
amazing.
How did you know you had how did you figure out that you sound like her?
I'm pretty good
So you
with
just tried it?
mimicking, and somebody told me, somebody had commented in one of my videos, like, you kind of sound like Kamala Harris here. It was like a natural, like, whatever. And I responded to the comment just as a joke, and that was actually my first very viral video. I responded to it with my impression, or at least my attempt at an impression, and I didn't even think it was that good. I was just like, nah, I was just messing around. I didn't have the laugh at all, nothing. But once I started working on it and practicing, which was my biggest challenge. I'm not a professional actor. I didn't really know what I was doing. But I did have this wonderful Jewish man, by the way, Ezra Levant. He is the CEO of Rebel News, Australia, America, and Canada. Amazing, amazing man. He saw that I was very green in this world. He reached out to me. He's like, look, I'm a journalist, but I'm the CEO of this. He's like, I love the impression. I think it's adorable. I think it's funny. He's like, I want you to keep doing videos like this. And I was like, I don't know, like where do I start? What do you want me to do? Like, this was completely improvised, a lot of it. He's like, just do what feels natural. I love the laugh. I love everything you have going on. Just continue making videos. And we have like this contract that we made up. And I just started going at it. Like, I just continued to go. And then I got offers from here. This one started resharing my stuff. Like, the big stars started resharing my stuff. And then slowly but surely, it started growing.
Right.
So I used to be very hyper focused on the numbers before. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna hit 40K soon on Instagram. I can't believe it. The things that used to make me excited before, oh how I wish it was back to those simple times. Because it's really
It's
a
not
very
easy.
short-lived like happiness. You know what I mean? I accomplished something. I'm very proud of myself, don't get me wrong. But it comes with a lot of backlash. It comes with a lot of problems. It comes with threats. It comes with the security of my life. I am only scared of Hashem. I don't like any kawani bayus, ito ko bogo bayus. And I've gotten a lot of heat for the things that I have said. I've had to be very careful in certain situations. There's certain places I cannot go or I won't go. I refuse to go because I'll get recognized and people also know I'm Jewish. Like I just don't want to endanger myself in any way.
100%.
So I also started being a little less antagonistic. I was at some point really giving it to these Democrats.
Right.
Chanos, like level PhD.
Yeah.
And because that's the way to do it, you have to. So I took this little superpower and I made it like this massive thing. And I really honed in on her. But like I said, the message started becoming about we need to get Trump into office.
Yeah.
So that it just naturally happened. It naturally happened where I started talking about her, like trolling herself,
Right.
basically. Making fun of her, but I've also introduced new characters. I started touching on things that she was actually saying and talking about, to the point where the messages went from LOL, laughing my ass off, you're the best, you make me laugh, to people that are like, hey, listen, hold on a second, I was gonna vote for this clown.
She's an idiot.
She's an idiot. Is this really true? Is this what she said? And it became a full-time job, sending these people real clips, because they weren't actually listening. They were looking at the summaries that CNN put out that made them these viral moments out of context, where she sounds like she said something profound, and then all of a sudden, and the idiots, they fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. They're like watching on the TV, like, yes, as long as it's not Trump, yeah, she seems nice.
Yes, exactly.
So when I saw this huge influx, I'm telling you guys, I'm talking about independents, and I'm even talking about some conservatives that, because they were so propagandized against Trump, they're like, I have to vote for her, but you're really making me not like her also.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about A, B, and C? I did not have so much luck with a lot of the Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, that they're like, the progressive Jews, I should say, the same people voting Mamdani in now. Did not have a lot of luck with them. They were just like, no, Trump is wrong for it. And this is not to get into a political discussion. This is just me like relaying what it was. But that's what it was. It went from comedy to somehow myself landing in being invited to news shows and talking on my talking points, because that's just how it happens. You just start getting in the.
Understand how this is where I'm having difficulty,
Okay.
because we're a Jewish nation.
Mm-hmm.
When we get destroyed, they don't give a crap if you're Ashkenaz, if you're Sephardi, if you're
Yes.
liberal, if you're
Agreed.
Democrat, if you're Republican. They take you out for being a Jew.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. I really genuinely don't understand what goes on in the person's mindset when they see a problem. It's a problem not just for me because I'm Sephardi or if I'm a Republican. It's for all of us as a whole. How do they even choose to go the other way? Why?
They've assimilated too much.
Like Bernie Sanders, for example. How can he?
Those are the Jews that give us a bad name. They've over assimilated. I also believe, I was telling. I'm sure you guys are going to ask me about this, but there was a time that I ran into Diana at shul, at like one of the shuls.
Yeah.
And they were very surprised to see me, and I was very much. I don't know if you remember, but I think I walked in there like a cat. I really didn't want to be.
She didn't want to be seen.
I didn't want to. It's
known.
not even about seen and known. I was there for myself. I needed that spiritual guidance.
Yeah.
And why I'm bringing this up is because we just talked about women's intuition. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. This is what I felt. It was very powerful. I started looking at the world from my eyes. Everybody has their own perspective based on everything that I knew from this very open mindset of no, we assimilated. What do you mean? Salam alaikum salam. I say that to the halal guy on the corner before I walk into work. You know what I mean? We are New York. This is how we were. But what did October 7th show us? Look at how quickly we became the enemy in our own home.
Yeah.
So I started wondering. I'm like, what's going to happen? So at first I was like, hang on a second, we must get Trump in now. Oh my God, Trump is going to save us. Trump is going to save us. Okay, great, Trump is in.
No.
Now we have to.
We were talking about after the election.
We have to
put your trust in a man.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to go vote for that reason. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
And Od Milvado. And there's nothing but Hashem.
You know.
And when you put your trust into a person, doesn't matter if it's Trump or whoever it is, you're leaving God on the side. And that's the problem.
You can't
that we're
idolize
facing.
and worship him to the
Exactly.
point where you think
Yes, he's a messenger.
he's gonna fix everything. I told people that when it came to the New York election, a lot of our Baharians are gonna get very upset if they hear this. Not that I care, but those are the things that I was dealing with. Those kinds of things. Tawakal v'chudah. No, Trump is in office. That's okay. New York is gonna be fine. No, it's not gonna be fine. And that's what I'm telling you. I was the number one person to be telling people that used to tell me, like, for example, like, yo, we're all gonna end up in Israel. I used to be like, I gave like the Kamala laugh. I'm like, you think you're safer over there? Are you out of your belligerent mind? Look at what they're going through right now. Even though I saw rockets penetrate the Iron Dome, something is telling me in here and in here, like the intuitive part in here, the one where my ancestors remember where it came from, like the soul, the Jewish soul in here. I don't even know what that means. I just know that I say what I feel.
Yeah. Something
is telling me that not only are you safer in Israel, you are all absolutely going to end up in Israel.
Yeah.
I didn't finish saying it. We got tied up. But my mom sobered me. She sobered me when I was excited about the Kamala stuff. And in a couple of days, this is what I wanted to say. You know, I was your age with 3 kids when we came to Russia, when we came to America, right? I was 34 with 3 children. It was exactly the same age. Like, literally, this year, my daughter is 5. She was like, same exact situation. You guys are doing well over here, blah, blah, blah. This is when we picked up and left. She's like, we don't even have your baby pictures.
Yeah.
There was like a couple of albums. Of course, my parents picked up the one. History does repeat itself all the time. And that's what I'm saying. From my perspective, I'm looking at it as someone that is, I like to think that I'm an intellectual. I read a lot. I read a lot of the history books. I don't get my news from social media feeds.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
you acquire it on your own.
I acquire it on my own. I research a lot too. And if I have questions, I ask them. Okay? Oh, amen. A lot of us are at different levels of our spiritual journeys.
Right.
I'm not here to call out anybody. I don't care what people do with their life. I'm very like, mind your business, do what you gotta do. I really don't care. But there are a lot of people, and these are people that I've actually, I guess I looked at them and I was like, well, look, this is the way people are. But people have different levels of their spiritual journey.
100%.
I know people that have kippas on that do all the rules. They do it all. They do everything. But they go to work and they steal for a living. I'm not here to judge. People say, we do what we can. We do what we can. Fine. Why am I bringing this up? Our community is so hyper-focused on looking the part rather than being about it. This does not only go to religion. I'm going to say that again for everyone watching at home, boys and girls. Our community became all about looking the part. They want to look like a family man. They have their beautiful wife. They have their children. But they also got someone waiting for them in Brooklyn, their girlfriend, whatever it is. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to sit here and get into it. You're not living right, okay? If you're doing stuff like that, you're not only hurting yourself, you are a lie. You are a lie. If you are stealing for a living, you are a lie. Now, I am the kind of person where people will tell me, listen, you should consider covering your hair. You should speak more modestly. Cursing is not ladylike. Leave this and that. I don't shun away any of those people. I say, you're absolutely right. I'm getting there. It's going to take me time.
To each their own.
To each their own. It might take me 10 years. It might take me 20. That's not the point. The prophecy even says, okay, when Mashiach comes, he's going to smell those that are righteous. The same way how we see how the prophecy says the world will be blind to what is happening. Do you guys understand right now how this is so important that, by the way, we rescheduled this so many times? It's so interesting how we are sitting here now during the war when my eyes got opened. Do you remember Men in Black? When when he became the alien, like, okay.
You didn't watch this movie, did you? You did?
Of course.
When she put like sugar and he was a cockroach, whatever. That's not the point. The point is my eyes got peeled open even more after this war. And I'm going to tell you why. all those people that were supporting me, I was always against the deranged left. And this is also history. The leftists always become friends with the Islamists before history starts getting FAFO'd, okay? All of a sudden, Israel bombs Iran because of all their indiscriminate bombing. The Jewish nation knows what's up. I don't know why the rest of the world thinks that all of a sudden Iran is their best effing friend, okay?
Yeah.
I'm trying my best here, girl. I'm trying my best. I'm behaving. I'm behaving. I'm being kosher. Am I? I didn't even like say one bad word. Okay.
You did.
I did one time.
She did.
I said what? The B word? That's a female dog. It's totally fine.
It's okay.
So my eyes got peeled so back, not to get off topic, because the people that were on my side, they were like, listen, by the way, sweetheart, this is great if Israel does this on their own, but don't you think for 1 second we're going to help? And don't you think that Trump is going to get pulled into this war? We are America first. Go there and go fight your own donkeys. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like this. Milana knows. I took the gloves off. Yatzit Bela all this time. Yatzit Bela, everything they were saying about Jewish people from October 7th, I try to keep it diplomatic. I kept it as diplomatic as possible with the people. And I'm not talking about followers, guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about the followers. I don't care about those people. Unfollowed. I don't care about that. I don't care. For every 10 unfollows, I get 100 follows from people that understand that this is a deeper channel. It's not just about, making fun of a hyena that laughs. Okay, it's not about that. Right now, the gloves are off. Because right now, I'm telling those people, listen to me very carefully. We are doing you a favor. Exactly. I don't know if you saw my last video that went like beyond viral. I had like the Latin American community reaching out to me. I have thousands of messages, ladies and gentlemen, from the people inside of Iran, inside Iran, using Starlink, saying, Hobby, you don't know how much we've loved you. I had no idea you were Jewish. You are a freaking Iranian princess. Why is the West for Iran? They're telling me. We've been waiting for this day for 47 years.
No, it's very simple. The West is for Iran. Not that they're for Iran. This is like what I told you. They want to like close their eyes, like they don't see anything that's happening. We just want our life back.
Yeah.
And then they open their eye. Oh, it's still going on. All right, let me close my eyes back up. Let me know when it's over. That's what it is. Not the West is, and we're part of it, right? We became very comfortable. I think this is the most out of my comfort I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. The mask is officially off.
And there were times before I started to learn and become more spiritual, I was also very, I would say, turned off by this topic. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. I don't want the rules.
It's uncomfortable.
I don't want to change. Like, I'm good. Leave me alone where I'm at and mind your business. And then when I started feeling it also, especially COVID, that's when I got really shut down. I'm like, yo, there's something bigger out here. If the world got shut down in half a second, something serious over here.
Hashem is in control.
Not just yes, obviously Hashem, that's when my growth began. But I realized that there's such a deep state governing the world. That when you're watching the news from different sides of the globe and they're all on the same agenda, I'm like, whoa, there's someone governing this.
And the right side is now saying that
there is one
Israel's in charge of this deep state. That's the propaganda right now.
This little small.
Yeah.
Everything. Basically, what was my point? Because I want to bring this back to you now. Okay, I want to bring it to you. First, it was the left side that we were all against. We were all so united. Now we're kind of seeing, as a Jewish nation, and I'm not saying all, there are definitely some soldiers on the right side that have been like, no, we're with you 100%. I'm a real Christian, and I'm telling you right now, if we don't bless you, we're all
yes,
dumb.
There are some Christians
that understand, and genuinely, they are on their own spiritual level as well, which is why it makes me see that the world comes full circle. But this was the first time, genuinely, where I said, maybe this is real. Maybe we are supposed to all end up back in Israel. To every journey, their own. But it looks more and more of something that I used to say, this will never happen. It's happening.
Can you show us your beautiful sweater?
Yes. This was by Mideast. I'm going to show the back for everyone to see.
I love it. I want one. It says never again. Never again.
Never again. 10/7, never again. And we unfortunately have a lot of events in the Jewish calendar where we are celebrating our attempted destruction. How many never agains are there going to be? Yeah. We are diminishing in population, and I'm telling you guys, I am the last person that I thought that I would hear these words come out of.
100%.
But I want to bring it to you because you inspired me with you know, what, like the things that you are willing to change and the things that you are going to do to get yourself to an even higher spiritual level, I think that it's necessary for people to know, like, there is a different path, there is another way.
I think that, and I really don't want to. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I think that it has to come out in a way where we're doing this not because we're bored and we have nothing better to do with our lives and we just want to sit around and talk. I talk to her all the time. I talk to her all the time.
We don't need to be in front of camera.
We don't need to be in front of the camera. But there's so much, and there's so much scrutiny that comes with all of this and putting yourself out there.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people might think, oh, like, yeah, they're enjoying the spotlight. We hate that.
It's not about spotlight.
Yeah, that's far from who I am as an individual.
It's unfortunately something that comes with the territory, but it's
Yeah.
not something we prefer.
We just are truth seekers, and we have to put the truth out there. So when I started to acquire more knowledge on the topic, I think that's the problem. And it's been like this since, you know me for many years. I don't run on rumors. I don't run on gossip. I could hear that you're a serial killer. If I don't see you killing someone, I don't judge you. I have to acquire the knowledge on my own.
Even if it means getting burned.
Even if it means getting burned. If I cannot give you my honest opinion, if I can't tell you I saw it myself or I learned it myself. So like you said, that you don't get your knowledge from social media. Some things maybe, yes, I do, because there's so much information there. And social media, if Hashem didn't allow it to be in this world, it wouldn't have been. But you have the choice. This is where we go back to free choice. When people say, why do I have to do this or why do I have to do that? God already made my destiny. No. God knows the outcome of whichever choice you're going to choose. Yes, 100%. But it's either your choice to do it the right way or your choice to do it the wrong way. So when it came to social media, I didn't get anything on social media, not even Facebook, until I opened this place. I believed in my core that it's all sheket, it's all false. I know myself. I'm going to get into it. You know, I never like to be a product of what's being fed to me. So I turn myself off as much as I can, not to become your product, right? So I started to really learn, and I started to learn not from political standpoints. I started to learn from prophecies and rabbis and lectures and speaking to people that understand the Torah in a more in-depth way.
Yeah.
Not just like halachot, what you can and cannot do on Shabbat.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
instance. Okay, that's something else. That came with time, and I'm still growing, and I'm far from being an angel. But I wanted to understand, what is this concept of the Rabbanim saying it's the end of the days, which I'm really bothered, I'll be honest, that our spiritual leaders, and I think that you can agree with me on this, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but within our community especially, our community has so much potential. Everything that we're doing is because of the value that I believe our community holds. I, thank you Hashem, have the zchut to work with lots of people in different Jewish communities. There's Ashkenazi people, Chabad, you name it, Syrians. We're all so amazing, right? But there's always an Erev Rav. There's always, doesn't matter. Every home has a toilet, I say, right? But especially within our community, I feel that our spiritual leaders are allowing the behaviors that are going on because they're scared of their pockets, and they're scared of scaring people away, or they're scared of how they're going to be perceived. So they're not relaying the message for what it is. And I don't hear lots of rabbis in our community at this point explaining what is this messianic era. I had to outsource myself to understand. Or I don't hear a lot of rabbis speaking about text. Yeah, they speak in shul. Oh, do you know the parsha this week? Like when Israel went into Iran, it was in that week's parsha. Touch a lion, the lion is going to wake up.
Yeah.
Speak about it. Inform our community what is going on. People are scared. People are sad. People are lost. And it's not their fault that they're that there's
Listen, it's what you said. There's no other way than to say it.
say the truth, say it for what it is.
Say it.
And
Yeah.
people are like, and I was that person. I'm speaking from experience that we start flooding our minds with propaganda and following social media to get our answers and just thinking about how to get through this, look beautiful. Life goes on.
Everybody's too comfortable and they don't want to start something.
But again, it's not their fault because people are not. She has became the voice in the community. We're doing what we're doing on a more humble, closed way. We're trying to do kiruv, this, that, and throwing it in a little bit. She became the voice, and I applaud you for that. And I tell you all the time, please continue. But it has to be put out there that the situation that we're in is not going to go away.
No.
And I'm not a rabbanit. Neither is she, neither is she. But this is information that we are learning, and it's scary. I know that I heard a lot of stories from people in Holocaust survivors, right? And a lot of them that survived say, if we wouldn't have ran, like a lot of people thought that they were crazy. And Jews in Germany were more on a profound level than they are today. They held it down.
Yeah.
A fly wouldn't go without a Jew knowing.
No. Yeah.
That just shows you that and they all went to sleep, good night, I'll see you tomorrow. They didn't know what was cooking. And the people that ran, they said if we wouldn't have ran, there would have been no Ashkenazi people.
This is my biggest fear with Mamdani in politics, and this is why I'm very frustrated with our community, because we have tried so hard, and I know I'm not alone in this. I know so many people that have gone out trying to campaign, trying to get people to change their registration back in January, back in February. I just got the numbers back yesterday from Cuomo's office. The turnout is pathetic.
No way.
Combined polling from the Briarwood, Main Street areas, Kew Gardens, Jamaica Estates, 2,100 early votes.
But
out of
even me,
100,000.
I messed up. But there's a lot
I'm
of
not
us like that.
But that's the problem, Lana. It's not just this election.
I didn't know if
It's-
I'm a registered Republican, I can't vote. What kind of shit is that?
We need to get more, but that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you, like I'm gonna tell the camera. I don't care. I'm gonna tell everybody. We need to get more informed in the politics.
Yes.
The point is,
100%.
if you want to live in a country outside of Israel at this point, I think we need to all wake up and say, hey, we need to be more involved in the local elections, because Mamdani coming in, guys, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to tell you. He co-founded the Students'
Yes.
Justice for Palestine. These are the pro-Hamas people that we're terrified of on the street. You know how angry that mob, when they can kill. Prove who's gonna kill. All it's gonna take, let me tell you guys something. This is not fear-mongering. You walking down the street in the city. Something happens. Somebody sees your Jewish Star of David. You see a kippah, or they're seeing you in the street in this Israeli restaurant. A violent mob is gonna come and attack you. You're gonna die. What's gonna happen? You think they're gonna have justice? Guess what's gonna happen? The cops are not gonna be able, especially in the Mamdani mayor's world. Okay, think about how much power the mayor has here. Some people are like, mayor doesn't do anything. That's not true, guys. It's not true. First of all, to the Bahrain community, stop pretending like you know everything. You don't know anything, actually. Okay, that's number one. Stop. Take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth and learn to listen, especially to the men in the community. Harasha? We know how to do more than Yachni and Baksh and a whole lot of other stuff. It's time to start listening to the women, because some of you just don't care to listen. I've had people, even with the success, even with everything, they'll come up to me to try to degrade me on the spot. Hi, Dashicha, what now? Like, sit down, know your place, you have your kids. No. I'm sorry, that is wrong. That is wrong. That's not Judaism, first of all. A woman's prayer is a hell of a lot stronger than a man's prayer.
Yeah.
That's written. I'm not making that up. You need to start listening to the people that are on the ground. There are people that might know better than you. It's not about I'm better than you.
100%.
Open your ears. Listen to what I am saying. It is still not too late. When are you airing this?
Soon.
Okay.
Soon.
The general election is June 24th. All right. Hopefully this comes out before that. The early voting is until the 22nd.
Yeah, but only for people that are registered Democrats.
Only for people that are. I'm having such a deja vu moment right now. It's insane. It's like this was. Okay. Sorry. I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs sometimes, guys. But it's time to start listening. Now, It's okay. This year, это уже пропало. Hopefully it's not too late. Hopefully the mayor's general election, we can all vote, by the way, the mayor's general election. Whoever wins the primary.
Also, I could go to that too. I could do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me explain.
I call her like a baby. I'm like, Esther.
Everybody does. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be short with you because I have to talk to about 100 people a day on this topic.
We understand.
And it's the same conversation. Wait, you mean I can vote? Like, guys, are you listening when I talk in the videos? Yes, absolutely. You can vote in the general. The key idea was to try to push Mamdani out to, before he even gets there. We don't even want to see him gaining traction in the general because that's when it gets dangerous. That's when everyone's allowed to vote.
Yeah.
The primary is the Democrats' way of trying to guarantee that their best candidate is going to go up against Adams. That's what Democratic primary is. And for anybody, if you have missed it, I don't mind saying it again. We live in a Democratic state, sadly. So
Must be registered.
you have to be registered as Democrat. I'm not telling you you have to do this because I want you to be. That's the law here. If you want to
Yeah.
have a voice in the local primary, you have to be a registered Democrat. That is what is
I tried
going
to be a
on.
rebel and I put myself as a Republican. I screwed myself.
Okay. It's okay.
In order to be heard, you need to be whatever your state is.
Right.
And the Hasidim communities, and I've said this so many times on my channel, they've been doing this for about 30, 40 years because they know what's up. They've been here for so long. Everybody in Williamsburg, there's people that I spoke to in Williamsburg for the Trump election. They're like, we're all Democrat on paper. Nobody here is switching because that's how we get our people in. Just so you know, there's somebody in the Syrian community that was able to get into council. In the Syrian community, one of their own for the first time in New Jersey.
Wow.
Huge plus for them because now guess what? What do you think he's going to do? He's going to release policies to make sure that the kids in the Jewish schools are safe and protected. It's not about like, oh, pro-Jew only. No, but we are the second largest population of Jews in Israel, in New York, after Israel.
Yeah.
We have to, it has to matter. It has to matter. And I'm sorry, but like some of our community, they are just blind and they're not worried about the right things. They're worried about whose house is bigger. You know, how can I build my house to be bigger than my neighbor's? How can our party be better than the one that was last night? Guys, fun fact, everybody forgets about the party the second they walk out of Bellagio's doors. I kid you not. Back to Men in Black, you know that thing that he used to put in the eye and erase your memory? That's what happens to all the Baharians.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's
like,
why.
Люди на Yeshua идут, the bar mitzvahs, the weddings, they're all so gorgeous. I'm happy for our community. I think we're amazing. I don't want this to get sidetracked of like I'm talking about our community in a bad way. We are incredible. Do you know how much more incredible we could be?
Yeah.
Be involved. You don't care. You built businesses over here. You built houses. You don't care. This is all gonna go up in flames if the wrong person is in office. So, you know, and I have a lot of people that are like, you should run for politics. Listen, I don't know that it will happen. I don't think they can handle me, Diana. I don't know. Guys. I'm a little too hood for politics, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. My kids are very small. I'm flattered, but if I'm being honest with our people, the number one reason I will not get into politics is because who the hell's gonna support me? You guys won't. You guys don't vote right now. You're gonna vote for me later? I'm not gonna embarrass myself and the turnout is gonna be 10 people waving a flag behind me. I'm not gonna do it. So get it together and then maybe I'll think about it. That's the reality, that's the truth. Why would I invest
100% right.
my time and
I think
efforts?
I think it's lack of knowledge.
Yeah, lack of knowledge. I always say knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah, it's definitely lack of knowledge in so many topics within the community. And that's what's hurtful.
You know, you built your business, and I don't mean to break, but like clearly you've had to dealt with some backlash as well. I think it's important, like any woman that builds something from the ground up, you're gonna get a lot of pushback.
A lot.
What is something that you went through? It can't be a lot more different than what I went through.
I got more pushback because I wanted to do it in a more kosher way. Not a lot of people like that. I got a lot of stares, a lot of
Opinions.
a lot. I'm trying to
Be nice.
Yeah.
trying to find my words. So, but when I opened here, that was the first time that I came out with the observant Milana, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know me from a completely different angle. So I had to stay true to what I've learned over the years, and I found the truth that I was seeking for because I also felt like something was off. I felt that the agenda that was being put out was not real. So when I opened here, I had a lot of support. I can't say anything. The community came together in such a way that I genuinely did not expect.
Yeah, we have a very powerful community.
When
supportive.
we are together, there's
Without
no
stopping.
limit.
Yeah.
And I saw that firsthand. So I can't, again, it was very powerful, but then there were those people that tried to see me collapse. And those people still exist, which I genuinely don't understand.
That means you're still doing something good.
And I know that the elevation that we received here was the hand of Hashem, 100%, because I gave him an oath and he gave me his blessing. Without that blessing, or if I steer off a little bit, he'll take me out like dust and ashes. That people need to understand that whatever respect you have, whatever gains you achieve, it's all him.
Yeah.
He respects people think, oh, I'm reputable, I did it. He could take you out in a second, your reputation and all that.
The way it goes up, it goes straight back down.
100%. So I know that we have a serious mission here, and we will continue until today. I don't bother nobody. People think they know me, but they really don't. I'm very private but public, and that comes with a lot of scrutiny. Like I said, it gets annoying sometimes. Everyone's in your business. But that's a pill that I have to swallow every day and just continue achieving the goal and standards that I put for myself. So I think we're very alike in that. Like when we have a goal, no matter how much chirping there is, we're going to go even harder. So the more people chirp in my ears, the more I hear, and people never tell me nothing straight in my face. I hear it from people on the side.
Of course.
The more you do that, the more power you give. So we just have to continue breaking down the barriers and the glass ceiling and exposing more knowledge, because that's something that we're genuinely lacking. And the reason I'm doing this is because I didn't have that knowledge myself. There's no platform or person within the community. Yeah, everybody has their own rabbis or shuls, but we don't have that one leader that we can rely on.
Almost like a safe haven for women. It doesn't really exist.
No, so that's what we try to create over here.
And you have to find what you connect with, who you click to.
Yeah. So it really comes with its own territory, but the more haters, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, it used to bother me in the beginning a
It
little
used
bit.
to bother me.
I
too.
was like fighting, I would argue, what do you mean, this and that. Now I'm just like, cool story.
Even I got backlash and I don't even do anything. Like,
I
I think it's just this, yeah.
I just go and speak. I'm trying to do them something good, and I got backlash. People are like, "Who do you think you are? You think you know it?
Yeah,
Who
teaching
are
you.
you? What are you? Like you're so young." And I'm like,
Yeah, you're not credible enough.
Yeah.
But the community, it became my driving force, honestly, because there is so much good, and there are so many amazing people that we just need to create more unity rather than everyone just thinking about themselves, because we can't think about just ourselves anymore. This is scary.
It's very scary. This is the reason why I get so upset, because when we came here, we've said, like, everyone from there, we came here, everyone was on the same ground zero.
How old were you?
I was 4.
Oh.
I was 4 years old. 1992. Everybody was broke.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to survive. Everybody was helping each other.
Yes.
Call her neighbor can get you a job in this hospital. You call that guy, you call that guy. Right now, it's the same camaraderie I see in this Jewish group that I'm in. I'm like in a Jewish group on Instagram. It's about the war. It's like people that are on the ground, Jews all over the world. It's like the influencers or whatever. The way we are getting our message out there to go against the propaganda. I'm talking about, like, we're shadow banned. Jews do not have a voice on social media, guys. TikTok has taken over. That propaganda war is lost. I'm telling you right now. How many millions of us are there? 17, 18 million left, not even in the world. This is insane, this number. 17, 18 million people. Outnumbered beyond. So think about that number. How many are old? How many are babies? How many even have social media? How many soldiers we really got in the world of 8 billion, where 1.9 billion are Muslim right now?
Yeah.
Screaming pro-Hamas, lying about Israel, and making the rest of the world hate Jews. Because I had a lot of friends that told me, yo, honestly, I never had a problem with you. They seem nice enough and quiet enough, but your history is disgusting. Jewish people need to be eradicated. Maybe that's why maybe you're the problem. You're the one that got kicked out of 109 countries. Maybe you need to ask yourself why. When I started getting attacked by thousands of these kinds of people, I started realizing, listen, I'm not going to win this war like this. But I'm going to keep going. And what started happening when I spoke to every single other Jewish influencer that exists, all of them are in the same boat. They're all overwhelmed. Everyone is like, oh my God, what is going on? What can we do to change this? 30, 40 years ago, our people came here. We were all zeros. How did we all get to where we are right now? Did you guys ask yourselves this ever? How did we all get here? How? Because we actually helped each other. There was no competing. Все друг друга поддерживали. Все.
That is now everybody more or less, thank God is established.
But what happens after that? I'm getting to a point. It went like this, Moana. Everybody was over here, underground. First, we went to public housing. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. It's just whatever's going in my head. Public housing, maybe an apartment building. Oh, we're out of public housing. This guy bought his own home. How did you buy your own home? I'm gonna help you. On отсюда кричит. This one now goes up here.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this whole table filled with cups, right? Now this one goes, hey, hold on a second. Я еще хочу чуть подняться. All of a sudden, all those are like, wait a second. He's going up a little too much. Okay, now you're all toppling each other. Okay. You've out-toppled each other. The houses can't get bigger. The parties can't get grander. Now what? Look at the competition that's in our community. How psychotic it is. My kudo are better. Мы поднялись лучше. Oh, почему? And it's, I'm not saying this просто так, guys. It's healthy to be a little competitive, but now we have Jews hurting each other.
Yeah.
To get on top.
This is something
This
that
is a
the
problem.
Jewish nation has suffered.
Why do
from
you
its
think God is
beginning.
mad though? Why do you
Yeah.
think Hashem is mad?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I told you, the gloves are gonna come off if I come on your show. I have a bone to pick with our community, but we can be so amazing. We are amazing. Why are you letting nonsense? This is the Satan. This is the demon. This is the stuff that's bringing people back to a low vibrational energy.
Yeah.
Instead of being grateful that your children are healthy and you have all that you have, you're just more. And it's become very materialistic. Now, this is not to everybody, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That our focus stopped being, how can we survive here, except quote unquote the election, right? If we cared about survival and our children's survival, every single person would have been registered and every single person would have went out and voted when it mattered.
Every time that the Jewish nation collapsed in history, if we look at the first Beit HaMikdash, the second Beit HaMikdash,
What was happening?
Mitzrayim, Germany.
Basis of hatred.
It's all baseless hatred.
For no reason.
So I don't want people to think like, oh, we think too much of ourselves again.
No.
You can go look in history. It's all because of the same thing. It's the baseless hatred. There's so much jealousy.
Well, people are already jealous of, like, we need to be united. That's
And gossip
yeah.
that is flooding in ways that, honestly, I've never seen before. And we never had that character trait. So when I look at people that do, I genuinely want to understand the mindset. Why?
Yeah.
Jealousy, okay, it's something I can understand. That's where you're competitive. Я тоже хочу. Why?
Like I said, a little healthy competition is okay, but
the gossiping
it's the gossiping. The gossiping is a
that I
problem.
don't understand.
The gossiping
is a big
turns
problem.
into hatred.
Yep.
That part I don't get. And what people need to understand, when you're gossiping about someone, all their sins go automatically to you. So you're doing that person a favor. And all your good deeds go to them. So it's a constant transfer of energy and power. You're depleting yourself and giving that other person that you hate so much more wealth, spiritual wealth. So the gossiping is something I even see towards myself. Like, we don't bother no one and they're just like chatting all the time. All I hear, what? Mind your business. Focus on your own personal growth. Forget spiritual growth. You like something you see, get out there and put in your work.
100%.
So I think that because, again, it goes back to social media. If social media, and now
the comparing and
yeah. We didn't have it that much because we didn't have social media. Now your whole life is out there.
and you're comparing it with the world, because don't forget what you're seeing.
Exactly.
You're seeing, like, I'll see when I like as a young mom, I remember I was like, oh my god, this mom is doing it all. You see these aesthetic videos.
Yeah.
The baby is perfect. The house is perfect. She's taking out a banana. Do you know what that does to a person that has like that's struggling, that isn't having sleep? You're just breaking down how they just feel so that much more crappier about themselves that day.
Yeah.
And it's human nature, guys.
It's not
human
real.
nature. It's
Whatever
not real.
they post,
I know
it's
that.
not real. 2 seconds later, she's probably crying, or she's miserable, or we don't know what other people are going through.
Yeah.
I tell this to the girls all the time, especially the young girls. Now the Botox and the
I know.
no offense, listen, I'm not there yet.
Girl,
But
don't make me don't. I was gonna say nothing.
but it's not even that. The filters and everything else. People think that that's
Listen, yeah, do what makes you happy, yeah, but it's not. When it comes to the filters and stuff, yes, it's not real. I think that the focus when it comes to like Botox and stuff like that, my only thing is like, it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
No.
I'm staring at you right now.
No, listen. You should do whatever you want to feel beautiful.
Yes, I was trying to find the words.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with Botox. There
Very.
is nothing wrong with Botox. I'm not
I'm
talking
a
about.
huge advocate, not
Yes.
for personal reasons, because I genuinely love it.
Yes. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not talking about that. She said younger girls. There's a reason for that.
Younger girls. I'm not talking
It's
about us.
because we're allowed to do everything. No. So it's
Listen,
it's
I have
such
teenagers.
it's hard for me. It's very hard for me to articulate it in the words that I want to say, because it's not about anti-Botox or anything like that. I think that the women in our community, we have made leaps and bounds in taking care of ourselves. I love that the younger girls right now, they're going to the gym. I see
Yes.
moms going to eat trainings. I came into eat trainings my first time, and I went and I was like, yo, you have 4 kids, you have an 8-pack. I don't know what's going on over here, but this is a place where shout out to eat trainings. I could see so many of my good friends go there. They see results. They feel amazing.
Right.
And I think that that's so important. Why? Because I grew up with a mother that never took care of herself, and I look at her now and I'm like, Mamichka, why didn't you do this, this, and this, and this?
But because now our moms did the work and we're more established.
We're more established, exactly. They suffered so that we can have a better life. But what are we teaching? This is where I want to get to. We now have children. What do we want to teach our young youth? I don't want my daughter to think that she has to do A, B, and C to compete with the social media at a very young age. I don't want her talking about skincare at 15 years old with me, 14 years old.
Exactly.
Wash your face, that's fine. But don't tell me, Mama, go take me to Sephora for these 80 products that I need
Thank you.
and ruin
Yeah, I suffer.
my ethic. I get it. I have this disease too. You guys see, most of the time I make videos, my hair is all over the place. I have no makeup on just because it's hard for me. It's really, really hard. When I have the time, I put the camera on. But my husband will come into the bathroom and say, why do you have 80 million eyeshadow palettes? I've never seen you in eyeshadow for 15 years. And I'm like, I know, this is a sickness that all women possess. It looked pretty, shiny, we like it, we buy it. That's already a different thing. We're all guilty of that because hello, capitalism, and I don't have anything against capitalism, but yes, we have way too much crap that we don't need. We don't want to invoke that on our younger youth.
Yeah.
We don't want to. Потому что there has to be a level of prostoty. There has to be a level of simplicity and authenticity. I want my daughter to be comfortable in her skin. I don't want her to come to me and say, I hate the way I look. I need to inject stuff into my face to look like this. And even then, maybe I'm not going to like it. I'm going to want to do more and more and more. And then what happens? Your mouth looks like a Hamas asshole. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it how it is. This stuff has to be done tastefully, ladies. Some of y'all need to start dissolving. I'm sorry. I told you I was going to do this.
It's so true. I'm sorry.
But
It's so true.
guys, I'm not saying this to hurt nobody's feelings or business or
I
that's
don't
not.
agree with them.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. We're gonna agree to disagree. That's the power of the Jewish nation. We're not supposed to just sit here and that's what liberals do. You're so awesome. No, you're so awesome. No, you're so awesome. If it's an echo chamber, we're gonna agree to disagree on certain things.
Yeah.
My point is that it's not about being against Botox or any of that stuff or buying yourself a Chanel bag. If this stuff makes you happy, fine. If you have the money for it, fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about setting the example for our younger generation, what the focus should be on. You want to buy all that stuff? Great. Get spiritually in tune with yourself. Educate yourself. Make sure you have the right tools to face criticism in the real world. I don't want my children to go into the world of social media and think that they need to do that stuff to feel good. They don't. If they can if they want to, but it should be other stuff that makes them feel good. I want them to be confident. Because guess what? You know, you say all these things like you became a sensation, this and that. I was crapping myself in most of these rooms when I walked into them because I'm somebody with no experience that walked in and just pretended like I owned the place. Honestly, you fake it till you make it sometimes in these situations.
Yes.
And you have to believe that you can
That's
do
my
it.
motto.
You have to believe you can do it. Being told that you're going on national television at Fox and you're going to be live and you can mess that up.
Yeah.
You didn't see it on my face, but I was shaking like this when the camera wasn't looking. And that is a confidence thing. But guess what? That confidence emboldened me even more to go and to keep going. Do it. Who cares? I literally came out of there, I took this breath, and I'm like, what was I so afraid of? Not only did I kill it, I did well with the improvisation. It came out more natural. Why was I so in my head? Because I was listening to all the people that told me that it's not possible. Also, like in the hair and makeup rooms that I've been in, these professional makeup artists or other people that are going to be on the panel with you, it's almost like a demon. They do stuff and say stuff to break you down right before you go on air.
Wow.
You know how strong you gotta be spiritually and how like you gotta I remember I walked into a room and they go, who's this dingbat? Who the hell are you? You're a nobody. Sit down. We don't know who you are. The water bottles for the nobodies are over there.
Wow. But you know what they say?
No.
When things like this happen, that means that the Yetzer Hara and the Satan is trying to break you
Exactly.
because you're doing something so great.
That's
Because
just
you're
the way
going
it
to be
is.
doing something wow. So no, good job.
So we veered off topic a little bit. I'm sorry, ladies. But the point is that we want our community to be stronger mentally,
Yeah.
physically. Listen,
This is
our
all from
parents.
love.
It's all from love. Our parents did the survival. You know, they sacrificed their own happiness and love to really have for us to have an opportunity to make it here. I didn't go on any family vacations. That was a luxury we did not afford. I'm sorry. And we never made our parents feel bad about it because we
Yeah.
saw that it was genuinely something that we were not able to consider. Now that I'm older, that I practice that much more gratitude when I'm able to take my
100%
kids
me
somewhere.
too,
It's a
yeah.
gratitude thing.
Yeah.
But my kids, sadly, when are we going again? This is a 5-year-old talking to me. And I'm just like, hold on a second. We need to reassess the situation. Because what are we doing right now to our kids? I want to give them the world. I know I'm talking to a lot of parents right now. We want to give them the world. We want them to experience what we didn't experience. But to what degree? My dad didn't let me do nothing. No nails, no this and that. But there's a level of like, hold on, but there's hygiene to consider. Maybe he was a little over the top with certain things. I want my daughter to be more, you know, like to it's okay to, you know, like
Take care.
I'm sorry. Our parents, sometimes they traumatized us to the point of when you see what I'm saying? How there has to be that balance and it's very difficult to obtain. Because no matter how much I can talk to until I'm blue in the face about all my knowledge and all of my, oh my God, and what I went through and what we saw our parents go through, our kids are just, they didn't go through any of this. They have no idea what it is
They're
to survive.
privileged, very privileged.
Very privileged, not at their own,
That's why
not
we
because
won't
of
be
their
able
fault.
to change that. This is the society. We have to figure out a way how to keep moving. And
I think it's the human flaw. I don't think that you can, as a society, get stronger and stronger. I think we're gonna get built up so crazy, and if the Jewish people of the world don't do what's needed, then whatever is left of us are gonna make fire from
my
scratch.
grandmother
That's what's gonna happen.
she was a very rich woman, but she went through a lot in her life. They went through wars. In Uzbekistan, they had to hide their wealth, right? So she was not cheap, but she was very reserved with her spending. She
Very
was
frugal, yeah, as
very
needed.
scared, right? And a lot of the people at that time, even today, are still like that. That's it. That's in their mind.
Oh yeah, that's communist Russia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then go on to our parents. A little bit more lenient. They went through struggles. They see
And then us, Mishandri.
exactly.
100%.
We
We are
and then
very
we go to our
generous with our
kids.
kids, yes. But we are doing a disservice to them.
Yeah,
I am guilty of this as well.
but that's the chain reaction, and that's how they're going to continue to grow. There's really not much, I think, that can be done.
I don't think that there's anything we're gonna do. I think it's just
No.
life is gonna force
Life.
My husband drove my kids to the nail salon, and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna be busy, I'll get them an Uber. What Uber? Let them take a bus. I was like, no, they're not taking a bus.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm sorry, like they're gonna take an Uber back because of the
Safety
world
and
we
all.
live in.
Yep.
Boss like a dog.
Like a dog.
We didn't have
The
Uber.
things we saw in the train station.
Yeah.
I'm telling my mom now about the experience. I used to never tell her so that not to worry her. I'm
They
like,
don't
Mom, you know how many
even
times I almost
wait,
got
how
pushed
many
into the train? My mom was like, "No, what?"
Waiting for hours for the bus.
Yes, in the rain,
In the-
cold,
yeah.
whatever it was. But let me tell you something, Milana. You think you're like this because you were getting Ubered or because you waited in the bus? I'm serious.
I know.
You know what that resilience does to you? What it builds character, how we grew up.
Yeah.
I even tell I literally sound like those boomers. You know how like when we were growing up, how the teachers were talking, like, yeah, age. That's all you hear from my mouth when I talk to my kids. And it's horrible. But I'm like to my son, I was 11 years old already, opening the bagel shop myself, 5 o'clock in the morning. I kid you not. I kid you not.
But they-
Albert Diane's mom owned a bagel shop on 67th Avenue and Queens Boulevard in Forest Hills. That was my first job. I was 11 years old. What were you thinking? No, seriously. 11 years old, that woman taught me so much in my life.
But it was safer. It was
Safer.
different.
It was safer. But like I said, there are things that I can think back of. We went through stuff too. It's a part of life. Sometimes I genuinely, as a mother, I have to close my eyes. Like when my son tells me I'm going to go take a bike, I'm going to go to the park. I'm like, don't take the electric one. I don't want you taking that. What if? And then there's that other part of me that's like, you need to take a deep breath and let him go. You have to let them make their own mistakes. They have to fall to get up. They have to. They will not survive otherwise. This is true to everything. Our immune systems. You know why so much sickness and chaos after COVID? We were all home hiding our immune systems. This is also by design. Why? So that a small cold can kill you tomorrow. You need to get them dirty. We can't look at the moms that antibacterialize every 5 minutes, every single surface of their houses. They have the sickest kids.
I used to be like that, and I never understood why are they always sick.
Because you're not letting the immunity
Cycle.
train for the fight. That's why.
They would play with Legos. Each time, I would wipe each Lego with a Lysol wipe.
I'm not like that. I'm sorry.
No comment.
I learned.
At least you learned.
Are you Cancer?
I am. That's
See,
it.
that's-
Oh, see? That's
Same.
what it is. She's a Scorpio.
Yeah, I
This
know.
makes more sense now. I know. Some people are like, you're into astrology. Something is wrong.
It's
with you."
actually
I'm like, it's very
Jewish.
true.
It's-
Yeah, it's a
it's
very
actually-
true thing. Yeah.
By the Jews.
So, what message do we want to give off to our viewers?
Listen, I've done other podcasts. I definitely didn't dive deep onto my Jewish roots like I did on this one. I want to thank you ladies for allowing me the privilege to do so. This is my journey. I have not been vocal about anything, and like I said, this is nobody's business. It's not me explaining myself to anybody. It's more of me letting you guys see a different side of me as
Right.
well.
Before you continue, can I just say
Sure.
I'm so impressed and I applaud you for having that intuition and understanding that this is something bigger.
Yeah.
I want to grow. And the fact that you're going to shul, you're trying to learn. I always tell people, it doesn't matter what level you want, as long as you're trying to do something on your own level. Grow, do whatever it is. And I see it in you. And I see that you have that neshama is so great, so big. You have a very, very big mission in this world.
She does.
And you are little by little fulfilling it. And I think as you start growing more spiritually, you'll have like an epiphany even bigger and you'll be like, this is what needs to be done. So
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
applaud
that.
you. Молодец.
This is everyone she's a direct example of everyone having a personal mission.
Yeah.
So some people
Because of how I started to where I am now, I don't even know where it's
Exactly.
going.
Same
but
by
it's just
me.
doing it. Yeah.
You're just
exactly.
doing it and it just keeps growing.
Yeah.
So I know that this is all the hands of Hashem.
Yeah.
The more elevation you get, if you come in with the right intentions, He's going to elevate you even more in the right way. So this is an example of each person, every single neshama here has a mission. Some on a greater scale, we're the bigger audience, and some, it could be literally whatever fills this table around you. It doesn't have to go all over the world. So if you think that, oh, I don't have a huge following, I have no mission. No, it could just be one or two people that are around you. And what I want people to take from this is, if people are not saying how it is, we're going to say it how it is. The world is in a very dark place, in a very scary place. It's time to wake up.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. Our fancy cars, I'm guilty of that myself. We're not sitting, we don't live in poverty, thank God, none of us. We live good. We like luxuries. We're not saying that fancy.
Drive the fancy cars.
cars,
But the
all that
focus
is
gotta
great.
be the
Yes.
focus gotta be on
We're
what's
not
important.
here bashing bags and cars. We have it, but and that was my focus.
Yeah,
I was a
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
huge materialistic person.
And how much of what we talked about right now did you really care about when you were genuinely in
None
that
of
world?
it.
None of it.
None
That's
of it.
really the purpose of the
So
entire talk.
continue. Nobody's telling you it's wrong. We're not bashing all those luxuries. All we're saying is to just shift your focus a little bit on what's really going on in the world. It will never be normal again. People need to get out of that mindset that, oh, another year.
Yeah, back to
another
normal
year.
does not exist.
It doesn't. COVID, if we didn't understand that 9/11, COVID definitely paved the way. And
And even now,
people
this,
forgot
as
it.
we speak, yeah, people forgot.
People forgot. And then like it got even worse.
Not only that, the language is changing around it. Oh, it was Israel. You didn't know it was the Jews. It was the Jews. And that is very dangerous rhetoric that is taking us to, 1942 Germany. And I don't want to be there. We don't want our children there. And that is the main message.
So I think that people need to get out of that individualized mindset and start thinking for all of us as a whole. We can't target the entire nation, but whoever watches this, Hashem is going to put this video in front of your face. And if you're watching this, that means there's a message in this video for you. And all we want to put out, I think, is unity and becoming one.
We're very proud of who we are as a Jewish nation.
Very proud.
Very
I'm a
proud.
diehard Jew, Bukharian. I love my community.
And I'm very proud of our community. I think
So
I
proud.
speak on this all the time. I don't want what we say to ever get covered up by like people immediately only take they'll take something negative and
Yes.
they'll hone in on like, oh, why did they say this and that? I don't want that to be the message here. Even if the tone wasn't right or whatever it is, what we're saying is correct. And instead of saying that or yes, that's right, be about it. Be about it. I'm being about it. I'm being about it. Nobody is busier than me. I'm sorry. I'm being about it. I took the time to learn because I want to, not because, and this is not a ploy to get people closer to God. You do what you got to do. I'm not here. I am the last person that can tell somebody to do what they need to do. Like I said, I have my own stuff to work on, but I thank you, Diana, for what you said. But this is something that I'm telling you, like just my message. I feel something. And look at how politics and religion and all this stuff, it comes back full circle. Family, politics. I was in the comedy realm. Somehow that came into politics. Not me running for politics, but me trying to open people's eyes. And now it became like this Jewish voice in the political world that ties all of our livelihoods together. Milana has her own incredible spiritual path that she's been on. And she's still on. And she said, she doesn't even know where it's going to take her. But we all have this responsibility. That is the message here. It is not about what he has, what she has. We all have a responsibility. And the time to figure out our responsibility truly is right now. Responsibility can mean anything. But it is time to look deeper. Let's wake up, look away from the phones for a couple of minutes, look up and understand and ask yourself, what do you want out of this world, especially in the next 10 to 20 years? What do you see happening for your kids? Because there's less and less Jews now. And if we really don't stick together in these moments, then that's it. Holocaust, everything that our people went for, that's it. It's gone. Our history is erased as we know it. We know deep down that that's not going to happen. Hashem is not going to let it happen. But we are responsible in it as well. We have a part to play. I don't know what that part is. I still don't know. But I know it's something. So, I really genuinely came here today. I want to thank Milana and Diana for having me. This is a beautiful room, beautiful setup. It was a pleasure to have both of you. And, I speak from the soul. Nothing is scripted. I answer for what I say, maybe after the fact. If I said something wrong, I apologize. But my intention is genuinely pure. And I love our people. And I really hope that we can get together and salvage New York. But who knows, maybe I'll see you in Israel.
Just be the light.
Maybe I'll see you in Israel.
She will actually. I feel her.
Yeah.
She's a realist.
God willing.
Thank you.
Thank you.